You stand in the silence of the monastery, the walls around you heavy with the scent of incense, the air thick with the weight of years long past. The flickering candlelight casts trembling shadows that dance in the corners of the ancient stone walls. A storm is coming, though not in the way you would expect. This is no thunderclap nor the howl of the wind, but something far darker. The moon, that silent watcher in the sky, is beginning its slow and deliberate descent into shadow. The monks whisper of it, of the lunar eclipse, that rare occurrence when the very heavens seem to hold their breath, and all things in the world are pulled into a fleeting and unnatural stillness. The moon's veil, they call it, though few understand its true meaning, the true power. It is said that when the moon is swallowed by darkness, the whispers of the long forgotten will rise from the deepest corners of the earth. And this night, as the light begins to fade, the whispering book stirs once again. This book, this cursed folio, bound in strange leather and sealed with an unknown symbol, waits patiently on the altar in the heart of the monastery. It is not a mere manuscript. No, this tome holds the secrets of the forgotten, of those who came before and whose voices were lost to time, trapped between the folds of pages that only the brave or the foolish have dared to open. For it is said that the book speaks only when the moon is eclipsed, when its pale face is obscured by the darkness. A whisper that calls to the heart, pulling the reader deeper, past the veil of mortal understanding. The monk who brought this book into the monastery did so with trembling hands, yet he swore he would guard it, even if it meant his life. But, as all things of the dark must, it twisted his mind. He heard the whispers, day and night, growing, louder, beckoning him toward something unknown. Now as you stand before this sacred relic, you feel its pull. The whisper has already begun, soft and sweet, like a lover's breath on the back of your neck. You feel it, this dark invitation. The monks have long since left the halls, gone to their beds, but you remain. You know the ritual, the one whispered from monk to monk, passed through the corridors like a secret kept too long. You must not look at the book directly until the moon has fully entered its shadow, until the last sliver of light is gone and the world is bathed in darkness. The whispers will guide you, but only if you are ready. And like the monk before you, who came to this same spot so many years ago, you are drawn, unable to resist. The time is near. This is how it begins. And so as the last rays of moonlight are consumed, you hear the whisper, closer now. Touch it, if you dare, for the knowledge it offers comes at a cost. A voice as old as the earth itself, a promise of secrets too terrible to know. As you take a step closer, something stirs within you. A recognition, perhaps, or a dread long buried. The ritual calls you, demands your participation. The monks would tell you to leave, to turn away from the curse, but their voices are gone now, swallowed by the darkness. If you are drawn to this moment, to this time, to this place, then perhaps it is already too late. The book calls. It is already turning its first page, though you have not yet touched it. You feel its weight, its ancientness, pressing upon you. Its whispers are no longer a mere sound. They are a command, a seduction, a promise. There is only one thing left to do. Now, let us turn the first page. The moon is now swallowed whole. Its light vanished from the night sky. The world, for a brief moment, holds its breath. A quiet falls over the monastery, as though the earth itself knows something ancient is stirring, something forgotten that now rises like a long dormant beast to awaken from the depth of time. The silence is so thick you can feel it pressing against your skin, as though the air itself has become weighty with knowledge too old to bear. You approach the book. The whispers grow louder. They are no longer just a murmur. Now they rise and fall, speaking in a language you almost recognize but cannot place. It is as though the book speaks from a place between worlds, a realm where the past and future bleed together in a tangle of memories and dreams. You reach out with trembling fingers, knowing that this moment, this very touch, will change everything. The leather is cold, slick beneath your fingertips, as if it has been waiting for you to come. There is a tremor in the air, a shift, as if the very fabric of the universe recognizes that you have crossed a threshold. Let the moon reveal what it has hidden. The voice whispers again. The words are not in any tongue you know, but they reverberate in your chest and your soul as though you have heard them before in a distant dream. You open the book. Inside, the pages are yellowed, cracked with age, and yet there is no dust. The book seems alive. The ink flows like liquid, darker than any ink you've seen, almost as if it were written in shadows. The first line you read seems to pulse, as though the letters themselves are breathing. And as you read them, the book begins to reveal its secrets it has held for centuries, perhaps millennia. This book has not always been here, not always in the monastery. No, it came from far beyond these walls, from lands so ancient that even the most learned monks would tremble in fear at the thought of them. The tale begins with the fall of a forgotten empire, long lost to history, an empire that worshipped the moon, but not as you or I understand it. They revered it as a god, a being of unimaginable power, and during the lunar eclipse it was said that the veil between their world and the next would thin. Their priests, no, their sorcerers, would gather to perform a ritual so forbidden, so dark, that it would grant them the ability to touch the very fabric of time itself. The rituals were whispered down the generations, passed in secret from master to apprentice. The secret to this book, to its power, is said to have been hidden in plain sight, its true nature masked by a veil of normality. But the ancient priests knew better. They knew the eclipse was not just an astronomical event. It was a moment when the world was thinnest, when the boundaries between realms were at their weakest, and in that moment the whispers could pass freely, slipping between the cracks in the universe, beckoning those who dared to listen. The book does not give up its knowledge easily. No, its secrets must be earned. As you continue to read, the air grows heavier, your breath shallow. The candle flickers violently, casting eerie shadows against the stone walls. The whispers grow more insistent. They do not merely speak, they beg you to continue. The more you read, the more the words seem to twist, to change shape before your eyes. The ink runs like liquid shadow, and it becomes apparent that the book is not just a text. It is a map. A map to the forbidden. A map to a realm that exists outside of time and space. And as the moon's shadow deepens, so too does the darkness that grows in your soul. The book speaks of those who came before, those who dared to unlock the secrets it contains. But their names are lost. Their stories faded into obscurity. Yet, their fate remains clear. The book's last warning is always the same. To read is to be bound. And as you read, you can feel it, the pull. The book is not merely revealing knowledge. It is drawing you closer, pulling you into its embrace, binding you to its will. And so, the question lingers. Who were these forgotten souls? What drove them to seek such forbidden knowledge? Were they searching for power, for immortality? Or were they simply seeking answers? Answers to the questions that no one dares ask? The monk who found the book, the one who first brought it to this monastery, knew the risks, but he was not the first to seek it. No, this book has been passed down through the centuries, always seeking the next reader, the next soul to enter its dark embrace. The whispers grow louder now, more insistent, as though the book knows you are nearing the end of its first chapter. It warns you once again that there is no turning back. The knowledge you seek, the truth you crave, is far darker than anything you can imagine. Yet, you cannot stop. The pull is too strong. The book is not merely an object. It is alive, and it calls to you. Now, as the shadow of the eclipse reaches its peak, you know that the book's secrets are no longer just words on a page. They are part of you. The veil has been lifted, and you, like those who came before, are now bound to the dark knowledge that lies within these pages. The air is thick with the weight of what you have uncovered, and yet the book's whispers refuse to let go. You can feel their presence, a constant hum in the back of your mind, as though the knowledge has seeped into the very marrow of your bones. The pages of the book seem to breathe with you as though it is alive, aware of your every move. It is not just a book, it is a sentinel watching, waiting. And now you are its keeper. You turn the page and the ink upon it shifts. The words are unfamiliar, yet there is an eerie recognition in your chest, like an old memory clawing its way to the surface. The text is written in a hand that is not human. No, this is the script of an ancient people, long forgotten. The letters curve and twist, their meaning obscured by time, but you read them anyway, compelled by a force you cannot resist. To seek the Watcher is to invite the end, the page whispers in a voice that is not your own. And when the Watcher stirs, you will know the price of your curiosity. The Watcher, who is this entity? What does it want? The book offers no answers, only fragments, pieces of a puzzle that you are powerless to complete. But the more you read, the more you understand. The Watcher is not a person, not a creature, but something older, something that exists between the spaces of time, a presence that moves with the eclipse, slipping in and out of existence like a shadow cast upon a darkened landscape. The monks who first found the book spoke of it in hushed tones, warning others to never seek the Watcher, for it was said that once its gaze fell upon you, there would be no escape. The story of the Watcher goes back further than the monastery itself, to the days when empires fell and ancient gods were forgotten. It is said that the Watcher was once a celestial being, a guardian of knowledge so profound that even the gods feared it. But like all things of great power, it was bound to the lunar cycle, its consciousness drifting between the moments when the moon's shadow stretched across the earth. The monks believed that the Watcher's purpose was not to punish, but to guard, to ensure that those who sought the book's knowledge were worthy. Yet no one truly understood what it watched for, or why it chose to turn its gaze upon certain souls. It is the lunar eclipse, the moment when the world seems to hold its breath, that awakens the Watcher from its slumber. When the moon is hidden, it is as if the boundaries between realms thin, and the Watcher is free to observe, to weigh the souls of those who dare approach the book. The book, in its cryptic verses, calls the Watcher a silent judge, one who waits patiently in the shadows of the eclipse for the foolish to reveal themselves. The monks who first encountered the Watcher were not the first to seek the book, but they were the first to be chosen. They too were drawn to it during the lunar eclipse, their minds open to the knowledge that the book offered. But as they read, they found that the Watcher's gaze was upon them, unseen yet all-knowing, silently judging their every thought. The monk who first guarded the book became obsessed with the Watcher's gaze. It is said that his mind slowly unraveled, driven to madness by the presence that watched him from the corners of his consciousness. But there is more to this story, something darker still, buried beneath the whispers of the text. The monk who fell to madness was not the only one. There were others who came before, drawn to the book like moths to a flame. They too heard the whispers, but unlike the monks who failed, they saw the Watcher. Their eyes, glazed and unblinking, betrayed their torment. The books of the monastery hold the names of some, their final words scrawled across the pages in a trembling hand, each one speaking of the Watcher, each one begging for release. Some say that those who are chosen by the Watcher are marked, cursed, to walk between worlds for all eternity. Others claim that the Watcher is a herald, a warning of something greater, something that lies beyond the veil of the lunar eclipse. But no one knows for sure. The Watcher is a mystery, an enigma that has existed longer than the world itself. And as you turn the pages of the book, you can feel its gaze upon you. You know that you are not the first to read these words, and you know that you will not be the last. The monk's last words, written in the dark hours of his madness, echo in your mind. The Watcher does not speak, it only observes. And when it is done watching, it will come for you. You stop reading. The room is still. The moon, obscured by the shadow of the earth, is no longer visible through the monastery's ancient windows. Yet the whispers continue, now louder, more insistent, as though the book is calling you to finish what you've started. There is no escape now. The The watcher's gaze has already fallen upon you, and with that thought you turn the page. The air is heavier now. The weight of the book upon your lap seems unbearable, as though it has grown in size and mass since you began reading. Each word you read carries a weight of unspoken consequence, pulling you deeper into the world of forgotten rituals and forbidden truths. The whispers of the book have grown more fervent, pressing against your mind, urging you to continue. You feel it in your chest, the unsettling truth, that the whispers are no longer mere sounds, but something more. They are shaping your thoughts, influencing your actions, pushing you forward with a force that cannot be denied. You read the next passage. It is a description of a ritual, an ancient ritual practiced by the priests of the forgotten empire that revered the moon. The ritual must be performed only during the lunar eclipse, the moment when the moon is swallowed by darkness, when the boundary between realms is thinnest. The priests would gather in sacred places, hidden from the world, their minds focused solely on the task at hand. They would begin by drawing intricate symbols upon the ground, symbols that, when completed, formed a perfect circle. This circle was not just a symbol of protection, but of power, a power that could reach beyond the veil of time and space. The ritual itself was a complex series of chants and invocations, each designed to invoke a specific entity, an ancient being whose true name was lost to history. This being, the book tells you, was not a god in the traditional sense. It was something else, something older, perhaps even older than the moon itself. The priests believed that by performing the ritual during the eclipse, they could channel the being's power, using it to glimpse into the future, or to manipulate the fabric of time itself. As you read the passage, you feel the ritual's pull, a need to understand, to unlock the secrets it promises. The whispers grow louder still, urging you to speak the words of the ritual aloud. But you hesitate. You know that the monks, those who came before you, warned of the consequences of invoking such powers. But even their warnings cannot halt your curiosity, your desire to understand the ritual in its entirety. Only those who are truly prepared may witness the eclipse's full power, the book whispers. The ritual must be completed, or you will be left forever in its shadow. You hesitate once more, feeling a sudden surge of doubt. But then, the book calls to you again, its whispers growing insistent. You can feel the weight of its ancient knowledge pressing against your mind. You cannot turn back now. The path is set, and you must follow it to the end. The book describes how, during the ritual, the priests would focus their intent on the moon, which, though obscured by shadow, still held its power. They would chant the ancient words, their voices rising in unison, until the air around them seemed to vibrate with energy. The ground beneath them would tremble as though the earth itself was responding to their call. It is said that, in those moments, the priest could feel the very fabric of reality rippling around them. Time itself would stretch and bend, revealing glimpses of futures that were yet to come, or perhaps even erasing the past in its entirety. The priests believed that the ritual allowed them to touch the very essence of existence itself, to glimpse the unseeable, but there was a cost. The book does not specify what exactly the price was, but it warns that those who performed the ritual were forever changed. Some were said to have been driven mad by what they saw, their minds shattered by the knowledge they had gained. Others simply disappeared, their bodies never to be found again. The monks who recorded these events in the monastery's ancient texts spoke in hushed tones, careful not to speak too openly of the dangers that the ritual entailed. But there was one warning that was common across all accounts. Never perform the ritual alone. Never attempt to invoke the power of the moon during the eclipse unless you have the protection of others. The book urges you onward, compelling you to continue reading. You are no longer in control, the whispers have taken over. As you turn the page, you feel the room around you begin to shift. The candlelight flickers violently, casting twisted shadows that stretch and writhe along the walls. The air grows cold, as though the temperature has dropped several degrees in an instant. You can feel the presence of something ancient and unknowable, standing just beyond the veil of the physical world, watching you. You are no longer simply reading the book. You are becoming a part of it. The ritual is not just a story anymore. It is happening. The boundaries between the world of the living and the world of the dead have begun to blur, and you are caught in the middle. You try to shake the sensation, but it is futile. The whispers have taken root in your mind. The ritual has begun. Now speak the words aloud, the book insists. Complete the circle, or forever remain trapped within its shadow. You swallow hard, your throat dry, and you begin to chant the words. The sound of your voice fills the room, though it feels foreign on your tongue, as if you are speaking in a language you were never meant to know. As you speak the final words of the ritual, you feel the air around you vibrate, the room shaking. Violently, the shadows in the corners of the room seem to shift, moving as if alive. The whispers grow louder still, drowning out everything else. And then, the moon reveals itself once more. But it is not the moon you know. This moon is dark, its surface swirling with shadow, as if it has become a window into another world. Through it, you see glimpses of things that should not be. Visions of strange, twisted creatures, of realms beyond your understanding, of futures that have not yet come to pass. The ritual is complete. The watcher stirs. And now, you are not alone. The whispers never cease. They are in your head now, swirling in your mind like a storm of thoughts, fragments of forgotten knowledge, and fleeting visions that come and go with the flicker of candlelight. As you sit in the heavy silence of the monastery, the weight of the book's power presses down upon you, suffocating in its intensity. The very walls seem to pulse with energy, vibrating in tune with the words you have spoken aloud. Your body aches with the strain, as though you have crossed a threshold that cannot be undone. The ritual has done something to you. You feel it in every breath, in every heartbeat. It is as though time itself has begun to unravel, as though the moment of the eclipse has caused the very fabric of reality to shift, to bend in on itself. And as you sit dazed and disoriented, the book opens once more, its pages turning as though by invisible hands. The next passage is different, strange, unsettling in its implications. The book begins to speak of a belief, one that was considered too dangerous to be openly acknowledged, even among the most learned of scholars and priests. It is a belief held by the ancients, the ones who first performed the rituals during the eclipse. They believed that the eclipse was not merely an event in the sky, a momentary shadow cast over the moon. No, they believed it was something far greater. They believed that during the eclipse, time itself became unstable, that the laws of the universe were momentarily suspended. The belief was known as time's collapse. According to the ancient priests, during the lunar eclipse, the boundaries between past, present, and future became porous, like a veil torn open. In this moment, a person could step outside of time, or even alter the flow of it. The priests believed that if one could perform the right ritual during the eclipse, they could manipulate the very fabric of existence, changing the course of history, altering their own fate, or even rewriting the past. As you read the words, you begin to understand the true depth of the danger. The monks had warned against the book for a reason. The very idea that one could tamper with time itself is a terrifying prospect. And yet, there is something within you that stirs, something that wants to believe it is true. Could it be that the ancient priests had uncovered a truth that modern scholars had long dismissed as myth? Could it be that the lunar eclipse, that moment of cosmic alignment, held the key to a power far beyond human comprehension? The book speaks of those who attempted to use the ritual for their own gain. Some sought to change their past, to undo mistakes they regretted. Others sought to see into the future, to glimpse their fate before it was sealed. But no one could control time. Time is not a force to be bent to the will of man. It is not something to be toyed with. The book warns that those who try to manipulate time will be consumed by it. Their minds will fracture, their bodies will decay, and they will become trapped in a cycle of endless repetition. The ancient priests, those who first performed the ritual, were not immune to this curse. Though they believed they had unlocked the secrets of the universe, they did not anticipate the consequences of their actions. You cannot help but be drawn to the idea of time's collapse. The power to alter your past, to change the course of your own life, is a temptation unlike any other. But as you continue to read, the warnings grow louder, more insistent. The book speaks of the horrors that await those who dare to alter time. It is not just their minds that are affected, it is their very souls. The fabric of reality itself begins to fray, and those who meddle with time become part of that fraying, lost in the void between moments, forever adrift. And yet, the book insists that the ritual is not merely a dangerous endeavor, it is an inevitability. Those who know the ritual will always seek to perform it, the whispers say. It is in their nature. The lure of time's collapse is too great for mortals to resist. You feel the pull now, stronger than before. The whispers beckon, you urging you to act, but the doubt gnaws at you. Can you resist? Or will you too become one of the lost souls, trapped in the endless web of time's collapse? The book's next words offer a chilling revelation. To manipulate time is to forfeit your place within it. The cost is eternal, and once paid, there is no returning. The meaning behind these words begins to settle within you like a stone in your gut. The warning is clear. The ritual is not a game, not a mere experiment to satisfy your curiosity. It is a dangerous gamble with the very structure of the universe, and those who have attempted it before have never returned to the world they once knew. But the whispers grow louder now. They urge you onward, promising that you are the one who will succeed where others have failed. You know deep down that the price for meddling with time is high. You know that the risks are unimaginable. But still, the temptation grows. What if you could undo your mistakes? What if you could peer into the future and see what awaits you? It is too much to resist. The moon's shadow deepens. The ritual calls to you, and you cannot turn away. The book seems to hum in your hands, vibrating with a strange, otherworldly energy. It is as if the very fabric of reality is beginning to tear, just enough to let you peer beyond the veil, to catch a glimpse of what lies in the shadows of existence. The whispers now come not as mere words, but as an insistent chant, urgency in every syllable. They beckon you deeper into the abyss, urging you to complete the ritual, to seek that forbidden knowledge, to cross the line that separates you from the unknown. But there is something else, something darker, something that unsettles you more than anything you've encountered so far. It is a sound, a shriek, not a cry of pain, but a wail that cuts through the very air, twisting it as though it has come from a place far beyond human comprehension. It echoes through the monastery, filling every crevice, every dark corner, every hidden space. The sound seems to stretch and distort, bending the laws of time itself as though the shriek is not of this world. It is as if the fabric of the universe itself is rending, as though something is reaching through, desperate to enter your realm. The whispers, once soft and insistent, now grow frantic, warning you to stop. Do not continue, they hiss. You have opened the doorway, the watcher stirs, but the shriek does not cease. It is the sound of something ancient, something that has existed far longer than humanity's fleeting existence, something that moves through the very cracks in time and space, its voice as sharp as a blade through the silence of the void. You turn the page in a daze, unable to tear yourself away from the shriek, unable to ignore its terrifying call. And as you do, the book reveals more than it has ever shown you before. The text, once cryptic and elusive, now unfolds in a language that is at once alien and familiar. The words seem to pulse on the page, twisting and writhing as though they have a life of their own. Each letter is like a beacon, pulling you deeper into the mystery. The book speaks of a dimension, one that exists alongside your own, a place of infinite void, where time and space are meaningless. It is a place where the laws of the universe do not apply, where the very essence of reality is warped and distorted. This place, this realm, is where the shriek comes from. It is the sound of something trying to break free, trying to enter your world. to claim what it has been denied for eons. And it is no mere coincidence that the lunar eclipse, this moment of cosmic alignment, is the time when the veil between your world and the dimension of the Shriek becomes thin. The eclipse is not a simple celestial event. It is a crack in the universe itself, a tear that allows things from other realms to slip through. The book warns you that by reading it, by invoking the ritual and tapping into the forces of the eclipse, you have begun to tear open the boundaries that separate your world from the void. The Shriek is not a warning, the book whispers. It is a herald, a sign that the walls between worlds are crumbling, and it pauses as though it is aware of your thoughts. You are the one who has brought this upon us. The realization hits you like a wave crashing against the shore. The Shriek is not just a sound, it is a presence, a thing, a being, trying to cross over, trying to enter your reality. And you, with your curiosity and your hunger for forbidden knowledge, have been the one to invite it. The book has always been more than just a tome of rituals and secrets. It is a key, a gateway to something darker, something more malevolent than you can possibly comprehend. The Shriek grows louder, now accompanied by a low, rumbling growl, like a storm building on the horizon. The walls of the monastery seem to shake, the very foundation quivering as though the building itself is alive, reacting to the presence that is slipping through the rift you have created. The shadows in the corners of the room begin to shift, stretching unnaturally long, moving as though they are alive. You can feel them in the back of your mind wrapping around you, tightening their grip with each passing moment. A cold sweat breaks out across your brow as the book reveals something that chills you to your very core. The Shriek, it seems, is not the only thing that has been disturbed. The book speaks of another, even darker entity, one that has been waiting, hidden within the folds of the void, waiting for the right moment to emerge. It is the true power behind the lunar eclipse, the force that the ancient priests feared more than anything else. They believed that if the eclipse was not contained, if the ritual was not performed properly, this being, this nameless entity, would be freed, its influence spreading across the world like an infectious plague. You are not the first to open this book, but you will be the last. As the Shriek grows louder still, you know that there is no turning back. The creature from beyond the veil is on the move, and it is drawing closer. You can feel its presence now like a weight pressing down on your chest, suffocating you with its terrible hunger. The book's whispers are no longer a guide, they are a plea. Close the book, it begs. End the ritual before it is too late. But it is already too late. The shadows around you deepen and the Shriek continues to tear at the very fabric of reality. The Watcher is here, and it has seen you. The air around you thickens with a presence, one so dense and oppressive that it feels as though the very room is closing in. The whispers have become frenzied, almost panicked, urging you to close the book, to stop, to sever the connection before the name is spoken, before the ancient being is fully awakened. But you cannot stop. You cannot close the pages, for the book is no longer just an object in your hands. It has become an extension of your will, your soul intertwined with its dark knowledge. And now, as you peer deeper into its pages, you understand. There is a name hidden within the text, a name that holds power beyond comprehension. The book trembles, as though alive with the force of this revelation. The name has been sealed for centuries, its utterance forbidden, its meaning lost to time. And yet, here it is, on the very edge of your understanding. The ink on the page seems to blur and shift as you read the cryptic lines. Words once clear now twist into something unrecognizable, as though the name is too powerful to be contained, leaking through the cracks of the book's binding, threatening to spill into the world. You feel the weight of it, a pressure in your mind, a gnawing compulsion to speak the name aloud. You know it is a forbidden thing, something that was never meant to be uttered by mortal lips. The monks who guarded the book knew this well, for they spoke of it in hushed tones, their faces pale with fear whenever the name was brought up. They believed that to utter it was to invite ruin, not just for the speaker, but for all who heard it. The name was a key, a door to something far more ancient and terrible than the world was prepared to face. The book speaks of the being who holds this name, an entity that exists beyond the boundaries of time, beyond the veil that separates worlds. It is not a god, not a demon, but something older, more primal, a force that has existed long before the earth was born. It is a creature that existed in the void before creation itself, a being of pure chaos whose presence would warp the very fabric of existence, unraveling the threads that hold reality together. To speak its name is to invite its gaze, to bring it into this world, to allow it to walk among the living once again. You turn the page, your hand trembling, unable to resist the pull. The whispers are louder now, not urging you to stop, but urging you to go further, to uncover the name, to understand the power it holds. They promise you knowledge, power, unimaginable insight into the very workings of the universe. But at what cost? You can feel the answer inside you, creeping up from the depths of your soul. The cost is everything. The monk spoke of the one who dared to speak the name, the one who unlocked the door to this creature's domain. It was said that this man, a scholar of ancient texts, had been the first to unravel the mysteries hidden within the book. He believed he could control the power of the being, that by uttering its name, he could command it, bend it to his will. But the book warns of what happens to those who attempt to control forces they do not fully understand. The scholar's fate was sealed the moment he spoke the name. His body was found in the library, his eyes wide with terror, his mouth open as if frozen in the final scream of someone who had seen the end of all things. The book continues to reveal more, but the words blur before your eyes as though it is trying to protect you from the knowledge it holds. The name is so powerful, so ancient, that to read it, to understand it, is to invite chaos into the very core of your being. The book warns you again and again that some knowledge is not meant to be possessed, that some forces are beyond the understanding of mortals, and to seek them is to abandon your place in the world of the living. And yet, despite the warnings, despite the terrifying truth that the name carries with it the weight of annihilation, you cannot help but be drawn to it. The book has become an obsession, its whispers now a constant presence in your mind, urging you to unlock the final secret. You feel the name calling to you, a pulse in the depths of your mind, louder with each passing second. It is no longer a question of if you will speak it, but when. The name is a force and it is drawing you in. You are no longer in control. The book holds you in its grip, its words slipping into your consciousness, seeping into your very thoughts. You can feel the shift in your mind as the name begins to take shape within your thoughts. You know it is coming. You can hear it, its syllables like a dark rhythm, beating in time with your heartbeat. It is as if the book knows what you are thinking, knows the very thoughts that plague your mind, and it responds with a whispered promise. Say the name, and you will know everything. All will be revealed. The world will bend to your will. All things will be within your grasp. The air grows cold again, the room growing darker, as if the very light has been drained from the world. You stand at the precipice of something far greater than you can comprehend, a force that is older than the universe itself. The name is here on the tip of your tongue, waiting for you to speak it. You know the cost, and yet you cannot stop. And so you whisper it, the name that shall not be uttered, and as you do, you feel a tremor run through the ground beneath you. The world around you shifts, and a low rumble shakes the very walls of the monastery. The shriek is no longer distant. It is here, close, reverberating through every fiber of your being. The Watcher has seen you. The entity has awoken, and it has come for you. As the name leaves your lips, the room shifts violently, the air turning to ice, thick and suffocating. The ground beneath you quakes, as though the very foundation of the monastery is being torn apart. The walls stretch and groan, the shadows, within them twisting into unnatural shapes, flitting around you like phantoms. The book shudders in your hands as though it is aware of what you have done, aware that the line between this world and the next has now been irrevocably blurred. The shriek, which had been distant and muffled, is now here, It tears through the space around you, reverberating off the walls, filling your mind with a maddening wail. It is not just a sound, it is a presence, a consciousness that seeps into your very being. You can feel its weight pressing against your thoughts, invading the deepest recesses of your mind. You try to close your eyes to shut it out, but the shriek is inside you now, echoing in every corner of your consciousness. The moon, once hidden behind the shadow of the eclipse, now begins to reveal itself. But it is no longer the pale, serene orb you are accustomed to seeing. This moon is different. Its surface is swirling, shifting, as though it is no longer a natural object, but a window into something else, something alien. The shadows that crawl across its surface are not cast by clouds, but by something far darker. It is as if the moon itself has become a portal, a tear in the fabric of reality, and through it, you can glimpse things that should not be. You try to look away, but the moon's revelation draws you in. Its surface is like a blackened mirror, reflecting not your face, but the faces of those who have come before you, those who have sought the book and uttered the name. Their eyes stare out from the moon's depths, hollow and broken, as though their souls have been pulled into the abyss. They are trapped in the reflection, forever caught between worlds, their fate sealed by the very act of seeking forbidden knowledge. The book trembles in your hands, its pages turning on their own, as though it is no longer under your control. The whispers are no longer words, but images, visions of the moon's power, of the horrors that lie beyond it. You see the entity, the one whose name you dared speak, lurking in the dark recesses of the moon. Its form is indistinct, shifting, ever-changing, but its presence is undeniable. It is a force, a being of pure chaos, one that was never meant to enter the world of the living. The book's final revelation is a warning, one that you can no longer ignore. The moon, it tells you, is not just a celestial body. It is a key, a threshold between worlds, and by invoking the name, you have unlocked it. The Watcher, the being that has followed you since the moment you opened the book, is not just an observer. It is a guardian, a force sent to ensure that the balance is maintained. It is the one who has kept the walls between worlds intact, holding back the darkness that lurks beyond the veil. But now, you have brought that darkness into this world. The air grows colder still, and you feel something shift behind you. A movement in the shadows, something watching, something waiting. You turn, but there is nothing there. Just the creeping darkness wrapping itself around the edges of your vision, as though it is drawing closer, slowly, but inevitably. The book falls open to the final page, its ink now a dark, swirling mass that seems to writhe on the paper. The whispers grow louder, more urgent, but you can no longer make sense of them. They are no longer words. They are an overwhelming presence, an entity of its own, pressing against your mind, urging you to understand, to accept, to let go. You feel your grip on the book loosen as your consciousness begins to slip, as the weight of the revelation crushes your thoughts, turning them to dust. But in the darkness, there is a flicker of light. The moon's revelation, a beacon in the void, calls to you, a final chance to escape, to close the door you have opened. It is not too late, the book whispers, though its voice is growing faint, swallowed by the growing shadows. The Watcher, the guardian of the threshold, has seen you. It knows you, and now it is coming for you, just as it has come for all those who dared seek the truth. The world begins to bend, warping around you, as though the fabric of existence itself is unraveling. The moon, the Watcher, the book, they are all part of the same force, the same truth, and you are caught in the center of it, unable to escape, unable to turn away. The whispers become a roar, deafening, overwhelming. You are drowning in it, lost in the abyss between worlds, and then suddenly the shriek stops. Silence. You open your eyes, though you are not sure when you close them. The room is still. The shadows have receded. The air is no longer thick with the oppressive weight of the presence that had surrounded you. The book is gone, and the moon's light shines brightly through the windows, casting long shadows across the stone floor. But there is something different now. The world feels wrong, as though it has shifted just slightly out of place. The light that filters through the monastery's windows is not the same. It feels cold, alien. The book is gone, but its presence lingers, as though it has left a mark upon you that will never fade. And then you hear it. A whisper soft and faint, yet unmistakable. There are more books. The watcher's gaze never leaves you. The monastery is still. The air hangs heavy with the echo of what has just transpired, and yet, as you take in the room around you, something feels irrevocably changed. The walls, once mere stone, now seem to pulse with a life of their own. The very foundation beneath you hums, vibrating in time with the whisper that still lingers in your ears. The book is gone, its presence now nothing more than a shadow in the corner of your mind. And yet, despite its absence, you know, deep in the marrow of your bones, that it has not left you. The whisper, soft and faint, continues, like a thread pulling you deeper into the unknown. There are more books. The words are not an invitation. They are a warning, a promise perhaps, but a promise wrapped in darkness, one that you can no longer ignore. The secrets you have uncovered are not isolated. No, they are part of something larger. Something far more vast and terrifying than you ever imagined. The book you held was only the beginning, and now the true horror begins. For the first time since the eclipse, you look out the window. Kyo. Moon is no longer obscured. It hangs in the sky, pale and cold, casting its eerie light across the land. But it is not the same moon you saw before. Its glow is unnatural, almost otherworldly. It no longer feels like a celestial body, but like a watcher, a cold, indifferent eye that sees all, knows all, and waits for the next soul to dare disturb its eternal gaze. The world outside seems distant, as if you are seeing it through a veil, a screen of shadow that distorts the very fabric of reality. The whispers grow louder, more insistent, as if the very air is thick with voices, ancient voices that claw at your mind. The other books, they say, the others will call to you. They are always waiting for the one who dares to seek them. And you, seeker of the forbidden, will not be able to resist. You try to shake the thought, to ignore the pull of the whispers, but it is impossible. It is as if they have taken root in your mind, winding themselves around your thoughts like a vine, squeezing the life out of them. The temptation to seek the other books is overwhelming, and you can feel it, deep inside you. An insatiable hunger, a thirst for knowledge that no mortal should ever possess. The book you held was not the first, nor will it be the last. It was merely a key, a door to something far more dangerous, something that lies hidden in the forgotten corners of the world. And now, that door is open. The first book has already called to you, and soon the others will begin to stir. You try to fight it, to tell yourself that you are free, that the knowledge, the darkness, is behind you. But the whispers tell you otherwise. They tell you that it is only a matter of time before the next book finds its way to you, drawn by your curiosity, by the very essence of your being. The darkness is a force, and once you have touched it, once you have opened the door, it will never let you go. As you stand there in the cold, silent room, the weight of the book's final message settles upon you. There are more books. It says again, more knowledge, more power, more darkness. They are always waiting, always calling, and once you have listened to their whispers, once you have unlocked their secrets, you will be bound to them for eternity. The air in the room grows colder. The shadows lengthen, creeping along the walls as though they have a life of their own. You know now that the book was never truly gone. Its presence still lingers in the room, in the very air you breathe. And as the whispers grow louder, you realize the truth. You are not the first to have been drawn into this darkness. There have been others before you who sought the forbidden, who opened the door, who dared to speak the name, and they too are lost to it. The book is a curse, and you, like those who came before, are its prisoner. The whispers continue, relentless in their call. You try to resist, but it is useless. The hunger is too great. The knowledge, the power, The darkness, it all calls to you, pulling you back into its embrace. The book you have opened is not an end, but a beginning. And though you know the price, you cannot help but reach out once more to the darkness that has claimed you. But this time, you know, there is no return. The whispers have become deafening, now drowning out all other thoughts, filling the empty spaces in your mind with a persistent, insistent voice. You are no longer in control. The darkness has seeped into your very being, twisting your thoughts, distorting your perception. Every passing second feels like a lifetime, as though the fabric of reality itself is unraveling around you. The room, the monastery, the world, they all feel so distant, as though you are trapped in some waking nightmare, caught between the veils of this world and the next. You try to resist, to claw your way back to some semblance of sanity, but it is futile. The corruption has taken root deep within you, like a parasite, burrowing into your soul. It gnaws at you, a constant, gnawing hunger that you cannot escape. It is the hunger for knowledge, for power, for something more, but it is also the hunger for darkness, for the abyss that lies beyond the veil. You cannot deny it anymore. You are drawn to it, pulled by an invisible force that is as ancient as time itself. The book is gone, yet its presence is everywhere. The pages, the ink, the whispers, they have become a part of you, a part of your very essence. The curse is now yours to bear, and there is no escaping it. The temptation to seek the other books is overwhelming, but you know the truth. There will never be another book. This is the only one. The other books have always been here, in the shadows, waiting for the one who would come to them. And now, it is you. You have opened the door and the darkness has found you. As you stand in the silence, you can feel the weight of the curse pressing down upon you. It is not just the whispers. It is the power, the ancient knowledge that has taken root in your soul. The knowledge of the Watcher, of the beings that lie beyond the veil. The knowledge of the name that should never be spoken. The knowledge of the ritual that can alter the very fabric of reality itself. You know it all now, and it is not a blessing. It is a burden, one that you will carry with you for the rest of your life, or what remains of it. The corruption is not just mental, it is physical. You can feel it in your body, in the way your limbs tremble, in the way your skin crawls with the sensation of something foreign, something that does not belong. It is as though the darkness is spreading through your veins, infecting every part of you, turning you into something else, something that is no longer human. You feel it in your eyes first, the way the world looks different, distorted. The light seems dimmer, as though the very air around you has grown heavier. The shadows have grown longer, stretching into unnatural shapes, twisting like snakes in the corners of your vision. The edges of reality blur, and for a moment, you are not sure what is real and what is an illusion. The book's whispers have become a part of the very world you see, merging with the shadows, with the light, with everything around you. You cannot escape it. It is inside you now, and it will never leave. The first change comes slowly, almost imperceptibly. You begin to feel the pull of the shadows more strongly, the hunger gnawing at you, demanding that you seek the other books, that you unravel the secrets they hold. The book has planted its seed in your mind, and now it is growing, feeding on your desire for knowledge, for power. But with each passing day, you can feel the corruption seeping deeper, spreading like a poison throughout your body and soul. The whispers grow louder, more insistent. Their voice is no longer a mere sound, but a constant presence in the back of your mind. They urge you to give in, to embrace the darkness that is now a part of you. As the days pass, you begin to notice other changes. You see the eyes of the monks, those who still linger in the monastery, watching you from the shadows. They know. They can see it, the change that has taken place within you. They can see the darkness creeping into your soul, into your very being. But they are powerless to stop it. No one can stop it now. You have crossed the threshold, and there is no going back. The final change is more immediate. You feel it in your chest, in the way your heart beats faster, in the way your breath comes in shallow gasps. The corruption has taken its final hold. You are no longer the person you were when you first opened the book. The whispers are no longer whispers. They are a command, an order, one that you can no longer resist. Find the others, the whispers. Say, there are more books, more knowledge, more power. You must seek them out. They will make you whole. But you know now that they will never make you whole. They will only continue to tear at you, to twist you, to consume you until there is nothing left but the darkness. You have already lost everything that mattered. The world you once knew, the life you once had. It is all slipping away, and you cannot stop it. The corruption is complete. And so, you begin to seek. You step forward into the shadows, into the unknown, knowing that the path you are on will only lead deeper into the abyss. The darkness is all-encompassing now, a blanket that smothers every ounce of light in its wake. You are no longer in the monastery, at least, not in the way you remember. The walls that once stood tall and firm now seem to warp, bending like distorted reflections in a pool of water. You are walking through a realm that does not belong to the living, a place where time and space have lost their meaning. This is no longer reality. It is a liminal space, a threshold between worlds, and the only guide you have is the pull of the shadows, the call of the book's whispers, urging you deeper into the unknown. You can feel the presence of the gateway, ahead though you cannot see it. It is there, just beyond the edges of your perception, waiting for you to approach. The whispers grow louder now, more insistent, as though the very air around you is alive with their force. The gateway is opening, and you are its chosen traveler. You are the one who has dared to seek what should never be known. And now, you must face the consequences. The gateway does not reveal itself immediately. Instead, it shifts in and out of focus like a mirage, elusive and strange. The walls of this realm seem to pulse, as though breathing with you, aligning themselves with your very thoughts. It is as though the world itself is bending to your will, reacting to the call of the book, the name you spoke, the ancient power that now resides within you. The boundaries between worlds have become porous, and you are slipping through the cracks, drawn into the unseen realms that stretch beyond human understanding. But with each step you take, the air grows colder, the shadows darker, until you are no longer sure if the path you walk is your own. You can feel the weight of the unseen entities around you, their eyes upon you, watching your every move. These are the entities that have always lurked just beyond the veil, waiting for the right moment to enter your world. They have been watching, waiting for someone like you, someone foolish enough to open the door. And now, as the gateway begins to take shape before you, you realize the truth. The book was only a key. The true purpose of its existence was not to offer knowledge or power, but to unlock the doorway to the realm beyond. The book was the instrument, and you were the one who opened it. The whispers, the corruption, the darkness. It was all part of the plan, part of the price you paid for your insatiable curiosity. You cannot undo what has been done. You cannot unknow what you now know. The gateway finally takes form, revealing a swirling vortex of light and shadow. It is a place unlike anything you have ever seen. It is not a physical place, but a realm of pure consciousness, a space where time has no hold and reality is a fluid thing, bending and warping to the will of those who control it. You stand at the threshold knowing that crossing it means losing yourself forever, that you are about to step into a realm where nothing is certain, where nothing is safe. But the pull of the gateway is too strong. The whispers are no longer just voices. They are images, visions that flicker in the corners of your mind, showing you glimpses of what lies beyond the veil. You see beings of unimaginable power, ancient creatures that have slumbered in the dark corners of the universe, for eons waiting for the right moment to awaken, and you see yourself among them, standing at the heart of their power, commanding the darkness that has taken root within you. The gateway beckons. You can feel it calling to you, offering the power, the knowledge, the freedom you have craved. It promises you answers, promises to reveal the secrets of the universe. All you need to do is step through. But as you hesitate, something shifts within you. A flicker of doubt, a fleeting memory of the world you once knew. The world of light, of reason, of sanity. It is distant now, slipping further and further away, but it is there, at the edges of your thoughts, begging you to turn back. The whispers, sensing your hesitation, grow louder, more forceful. Step through, they command. Step through and you will know everything. The universe will be yours to command. And yet, as you reach out to cross the threshold, you feel the weight of the curse settle deeper into your bones. You know that there is no returning from this, no undoing what has been done. Once you pass through, there is no coming back to the world you knew. You will be lost to the darkness, a prisoner of the realms beyond the veil. But the temptation is too great. The lure of knowledge, of power, is overwhelming. You feel yourself drawn forward, your body moving without your consent. You take a step forward. The gateway pulses with energy, the air around you crackling with the force of the ancient power that lies within. You can feel the boundary between worlds thinning, the veil slipping away. And as you cross the threshold, you feel something cold and ancient wrap around your soul, pulling you deeper into the abyss. And then, there is nothing. The world you knew has vanished. The monastery, the moon, the book, all of it fades into oblivion. You have crossed the gateway, and you are no longer in the realm of the living. You have entered the place beyond time, beyond space, where the true power lies. And now you are its servant. The whispers have stopped. The darkness is all-encompassing. You are surrounded by entities, ancient beings that have watched you with eyes that see everything. They know you. They have always known you. And now, they welcome you into their fold. You are no longer a seeker. You are no longer a student. You are a part of the darkness. Time has lost its meaning here. In this endless realm where nothing exists but the cold shadows of forgotten things. You have crossed the threshold, and with it, your place in the world of the living has been sealed. The darkness that surrounds you is not a simple absence of light. It is an oppressive weight, a force that presses down on your chest, on your soul, threatening to consume you whole. You are no longer in control of your own body, your own thoughts. The whispers have ceased, but they linger in the background of your mind, their presence like a constant nagging ache that you cannot escape. The entities that now surround you are not like the gods of old, the beings worshipped by ancient civilizations. No, these are far older, their forms shifting and elusive, impossible to comprehend with mortal eyes. They are not bound by the laws of reality or time. They exist in a realm where the very concept of form is irrelevant, where nothing has permanence. Nothing can be understood fully by the fragile human mind. You can feel their eyes upon you. You can feel their awareness, their hunger, their indifference to your suffering. The price you paid for the forbidden knowledge is steep, far steeper than you ever imagined. You are not merely a prisoner of this realm. You are now a part of it. Your body, your soul, they are no longer yours to control. You have been claimed by the darkness, marked by the very act of seeking the knowledge that was never meant to be known. The book, the one that started this journey, is gone. But it is not truly gone. Not really. Its whispers still echo in your mind, urging you forward deeper into the abyss. The other books it spoke of, they are not physical things. They are not written in ink on paper. They are the secrets of the universe itself, hidden in the very fabric of reality. The entities that surround you are the keepers of those secrets, the ones who have guarded them for eternity, and now they have claimed you as their own. There is a toll for knowledge, a price that must always be paid. And now, you are paying it in full. The knowledge you sought has transformed you, twisted you into something unrecognizable. The echoes of your past life, the life you once knew, fade with every passing moment, slipping further into the distance until they are nothing more than a faint memory. You can no longer remember the warmth of the sun, the sound of laughter, the feeling of a loved one's embrace. All that remains is the cold, suffocating darkness that you have entered. But as you stand, surrounded by the eternal void, a strange sense of understanding begins to settle over you. The toll of the eclipse is not just the loss of your humanity. It is the loss of everything that once tethered you to the world of the living. You are no longer a part of that world. You are now a part of something far older, far more ancient than anything you could have ever imagined. The beings around you are not your enemies. They are the guardians of the darkness, the keepers of the forbidden knowledge you sought. They are not evil, not in the way you once understood evil. They are beyond morality, beyond good and evil. They simply are, existing in a realm where human concepts do not apply. And now you are one of them. The final toll is not death, it is transformation. You have become what you feared most, a part of the dark, a servant of the abyss. The book was never meant to be read. The knowledge it contained was never meant to be understood. And those who seek it, those who open the door, are forever bound to the forces they awaken. You are now one of them, a creature of the void, a being that exists beyond time and space, trapped in the endless cycle of the darkness. The entities move closer, their forms shifting in and out of existence, their voices filling your mind. They do not speak in words, but in feelings, in thoughts, in visions that fill your consciousness, overwhelming you with their ancient wisdom. They show you the secrets of the universe, the truths that no mortal could ever comprehend. You see the beginning of time, the birth of the stars, the endless dance of creation and destruction. You see the forces that govern existence, the threads that tie all things together, and you understand in the deepest part of your soul that you are now a part of it all. And then you see the future of the world you left behind, the world of the living. You see the consequences of your actions, the ripple effects of the knowledge you have unleashed. You see the unraveling of time, the collapse of reality as the dark forces you have awakened spread across the world. You see the end of all things, the fall of civilizations, the extinction of life, the slow and inevitable decay of existence itself. You have set this in motion, and there is no turning back. The toll of the eclipse has been paid. The darkness is now yours to bear, and you will carry it for all eternity. The void around you seems endless, stretching out in all directions, a dark ocean of nothingness that threatens to swallow you whole. There is no ground beneath your feet, no sky above you. You are suspended in a realm where time does not exist, where space is but a distant memory. The ancient entities that surround you, their forms ever shifting, seem to watch you with an indifference that chills you to the core. They are not here to help, nor to harm. They are simply observers, silent witnesses to the endless unfolding of existence. And then, in the midst of the overwhelming silence, you feel it. A sensation, subtle at first, but growing stronger with every passing moment. The book, the one that you thought was lost, is back. You cannot see it, cannot touch it, but you feel its presence as though it is hovering just beyond your reach, its pages turning on their own, the ink swirling in patterns that are at once alien and familiar. It is a terrible thing to be bound to the book in this way. You cannot escape its pull. It is as much a part of you now as your own blood, a tether that stretches across the realms, linking you to the darkness that has consumed you. The whispers begin again, soft at first, but then growing louder, more insistent. They speak of the books that have not yet been opened, the knowledge that still remains hidden, waiting to be discovered. You hear their call, and it is impossible to ignore. The book has a life of its own, you realize. It is not simply a collection of pages and ink. It is a living, breathing entity, a force that is older than time itself. Its pages are not bound by the laws of the physical world. They are free, drifting in the current of the void, turning without a hand to guide them, as if they have a will of their own. And you, trapped in this endless limbo, are bound to it, helpless to break free. It begins to show you the consequences of your actions, not in images or visions, but in feelings. You feel the unraveling of time, the slow and inevitable destruction of everything you once knew, the world you left behind. The world of the living begins to slip away, fading into the distance like a dream, distant and unreachable. The memories of your past life grow faint as though they are slipping through your fingers, dissolving into the darkness. You try to hold on to them, but they vanish like smoke, leaving you empty, adrift. The book speaks. Its whispers clearer now, more insistent. It shows you what you have set into motion, the collapse of reality itself. It is not just the world of the living that will be consumed. No, the very fabric of existence will be torn apart, and everything that has ever been will be lost. The entities that dwell in the void will rise, and they will feed on the remnants of what was. The cosmic order will crumble, and nothing will remain. And yet, even in the face of this unimaginable destruction, you feel no fear. The book has taken away your fear, your humanity. You are no longer bound by the same rules that govern the living. You are something else now, something beyond the constraints of the world you once knew. The knowledge, the power, the darkness, it has become a part of you, and you are at its mercy. But there is a part of you, a small, flickering spark that still remembers what it was to be human. A part of you that still longs for the world you have lost. You can feel that part struggling to emerge, but it is weaker now, drowned beneath the weight of the darkness. It is a part of you that is dying, slipping away with every turn of the book's pages. You can no longer remember the face of the person you once were. The memories of your past life are fading, slipping through your mind like water through your fingers. You have become something else, something that no longer belongs to the world of the living. You are a creature of the void now, a servant of the darkness, bound to the book and to the forces you have awakened. But there is still a part of you that resists, that cries out in desperation. It is a faint voice, barely a whisper, but it is there, hidden beneath the weight of the corruption. It is a voice that longs for the world that is now lost, that mourns for the life you once had. And it is that voice that you cling to as you watch the book's pages turn, one after another, faster and faster, until the ink becomes a blur, a swirling mass of words and symbols that you can no longer comprehend. The book turns on its own as though it has a mind of its own, a will that is separate from yours. You can feel it pulling you deeper into the darkness, urging you to seek out the other books, to complete the ritual, to embrace the power that lies beyond the veil. And yet, even as you feel yourself being drawn further into the abyss, you know that there is no turning back. The book has claimed you, body and soul, and as the pages turn, you understand the truth. You are no longer the reader. You are the book. There is no light here, only endless shadow, stretching in all directions as far as your senses can reach. The weight of the darkness is a constant pressure upon you, a force that seems to squeeze the very life from your soul with every passing moment. You are no longer in the world you once knew, no longer a part of the human realm. The book is still with you, though you do not see it. Its presence lingers in your mind, its whispers never ceasing, urging you to seek more, to understand more, to become more. But you are lost now, a mere shadow of the person you once were, trapped in a realm where the concept of time has ceased to have any meaning. The world of the living has faded into nothingness, a distant memory, and you are left in this void, adrift in a sea of darkness, with nothing but the book's whispers to guide you. It is a cruel irony. You sought knowledge, you sought power, and now you have it. But it is not the kind of power you imagined. No, the power you have gained has consumed you, stripped you of your humanity, leaving only an empty shell. You have crossed the threshold into the realm of the ancient entities, the guardians of forbidden knowledge, and now they watch you. Their presence is not physical but mental. You can feel their eyes upon you, feel their cold, indifferent gaze as they observe your every movement. You are no longer a part of the living world. You have transcended that realm, but in doing so, you have lost everything that made you human. You are a part of the void now, a creature of darkness bound to the book and the forces it has awakened. You remember faintly the life you once had. You remember the warmth of the sun, the taste of food, the feeling of laughter. But those memories are distant now, fading with every moment, slipping further away as the darkness seeps deeper into your soul. You cannot remember your name, your face, the faces of those you once loved. All that remains is the book, its whispers calling you ever deeper into the abyss, promising you more knowledge, more power. But at what cost? The entities that watch you are not gods, not demons. They are something older, something beyond mortal comprehension. They do not speak in words, but in thoughts, in visions, in sensations. They have no need to communicate as humans do. Their existence is beyond language, beyond reason. And yet, in their own way, they are trying to convey something to you. They are showing you the truth of your situation, the price you have paid for your curiosity, for your hunger for forbidden knowledge. You are no longer a seeker of truth. You are the truth. The entities begin to show you more. They show you the consequences of your actions, the ripple effect of the darkness you have unleashed upon the world. It is not just the world of the living that will suffer. It is the very fabric of existence itself that will unravel. The realms beyond the veil, the places you have glimpsed in the shadows, will break free. The universe itself will be torn apart, and everything that has ever been will be consumed by the darkness, and you will be a part of it. This is not just a fate worse than death. This is the end of everything. The end of time, the end of existence, the end of the very concept of life and death. And you are at the center of it all. The book has made you its vessel, its keeper, its servant. You are no longer a person. You are a force, a living embodiment of the darkness you have unleashed. You have become one with it, and there is no escape. There is no redemption. As you stand in this endless void, you feel the weight of your choices pressing down upon you. You can never go back. You can never undo what you have done. The entities that surround you are not here to offer you salvation. They are here to watch you. They are the eternal witnesses to your fall, the guardians of the darkness you have become a part of. They will not interfere. They will not help. They simply watch. And you understand now that this is your fate, to be lost in the darkness, to wander this void for eternity, bound to the book, bound to the forces you have awakened. You will never know peace. You will never know rest. The corruption has consumed you, and now you are a part of it, forever trapped in this place between worlds, forever a part of the abyss. The whispers of the book grow softer now, not because they have stopped, but because you no longer need them. You are the book now. You are the whispers. You are the darkness that calls to the souls of those who seek forbidden knowledge. You will always be here, in this endless void, waiting for the next soul to come along, seeking what should never be known. The final toll of the eclipse has been paid. The darkness has claimed you, and there is no escape. The silence presses down on you like a weight too heavy to bear, wrapping around your soul with the cold inevitability of nightfall. There is no sound, no feeling, just the endless void that stretches beyond comprehension, the emptiness that is now your eternal home. The world of the living, with its fleeting moments of light, has long since faded from your awareness. All that remains is this boundless darkness, this endless, suffocating space where nothing grows, nothing lives, nothing changes. You have become part of it. And yet, the whispers return. Faint at first, like the flutter of moth wings in the distance, but growing louder, clearer, more distinct with every passing moment. At first you try to ignore them. After all, what could these whispers mean to you now? You have already crossed the threshold, already abandoned your humanity. The price has been paid. The darkness has consumed you. There is nothing left. But the whispers are persistent. They pull at something deep within you, something that has not entirely been extinguished by the shadows. A small fragment of yourself, of who you once were, remains, buried beneath the layers of corruption and despair. And it is this part of you that listens to the whispers, drawn by the promise of something more, something beyond the endless void. You are not the first, the whispers say. You are not the last. These words, simple as they are, send a chill through your being. It is as though the very nature of your existence has shifted. The darkness around you seems to deepen, but it also feels different. The shadows move in strange patterns, not just passive and cold, but alive. You feel them drawing closer, the weight of their presence overwhelming you. There are more. The whispers continue. More books, more souls, more paths to take. The darkness is endless, and it always calls. The words are not just a reminder, they are a command. You realize then that the darkness you have become part of is not the end. It is not a final destination. No, it is an invitation. The darkness is not an end to your journey. It is the beginning of something much greater. Something you have yet to understand. Something that will never cease to hunger for more. You are bound to the book, but you are also bound to the darkness. You are the keeper now, not just of the knowledge within the pages, but of the path itself, the doorway that leads from one world to the next, from one soul to another. You are the guide now, the one who calls others into this abyss. The darkness does not discriminate. It will always seek out the next seeker, the next soul drawn to the forbidden knowledge. And when the time is right, you will whisper once again to the next one who dares open the book. And in that moment, when they finally hear the call, you will be there, waiting, just as you were before. The cycle is eternal. The whispers will always return, and they will always find their way to someone who is willing to listen. You are the keeper now, the whispers tell you, but you will never be alone. The next book, the next seeker, is already on their way. The void around you begins to shift once more. This time it is not oppressive, it is alive. Alive with potential. The darkness ripples, like a surface of water disturbed by a stone, as if reality itself is folding in upon itself, revealing new paths, new journeys, new worlds to consume. The whispers fade for a moment, and in their place comes a strange, almost melodic hum, as if the very fabric of the void is singing a song only you can hear. It is a lullaby, a call to the lost souls, to those who wander, to those who search for what they should not. You feel the pull of it, just as you once felt the pull of the book, and you understand now. The darkness is not a prison. It is an endless journey. It is the path you were meant to walk, the one you were always destined to follow. And as the hum continues, you sense the presence of the next seeker, the next soul who will hear the call, the next one who will open the door you have left ajar. You will watch them just as the darkness once watched you. You will guide them just as the book once guided you, and so the cycle continues. The darkness will never cease, for there will always be those who seek the forbidden, who hunger for knowledge they cannot comprehend, who will inevitably cross the threshold. And you will be waiting, the keeper of the book, the keeper of the door. The next whisper calls, and so it begins again.